Well, a very good morning here from Miami, Florida. Yep, we finally made it. And very good morning for we're going to be joining, I'll give you a hint, the Carnival Conquest. This morning we're going to be boarding on the Carnival Conquest with Carnival. It's one of the ships that have been around for quite a while. Some of the renovations have been done on this ship. But let's get on board and let's go check out the room. We have a kind of a special room this time around that we normally don't get, and it is going to be a balcony room, so it's going to be towards the back end of the ship. So it's supposed to be a little bit nicer actually on the back end. Anyway, give you all the details. Let's get on board. Okay, so when you first get into the room, essentially this is the door. To your right, you've got one cabinet, which is located here, and you'll see a couple, hangers and stuff is that you can essentially do. One of the most important things you have to remember, we are in a cruise line, and we're in a body of water. So you may need one of these. I hope you don't, but it's a life preserver. Along with that, you've got the rest of other hangers and storage that you've got in here. I've got my stuff in here. And this is where it kind of goes downhill. The bathroom, not very impressed. It's the same old bathroom that they've had some from 1990. And as you can see here, also the amenities that they used to have in their bathrooms are now gone. I'm like, what happened? So it's almost like you got to bring your own stuff. And I actually had to ask for soap. They didn't actually have soap when I first got here, which was kind of interesting. And then the same old shower that's here. Yeah, I mean, it's not that great, Again, keep in mind you're paying over $1,500 to $2,000 for this room. You're not getting a lot, to be honest with you. Cabin stew is pretty nice. That's about it. All the way around. You've got your heating and air conditioning control, which is here. Try to get that going right now. And this is where it gets interesting. So then you have another makeup area / where you have your phone. And this is what I was telling you about the furniture. Is this something that you would actually put in your living room? I'm not really sure, but honestly, I just feel like the cheapness of what they put in this room, they just haven't put quality stuff. And I just kind of feel like, just decorations all the way around. It still feels like the old Carnival that we've had for years and years on this Carnival Conquest. I think it's time for them to definitely do something, but it doesn't give that feel, unfortunately, of, hey, we really welcome you, and here's your wonderful stateroom. Even the feel of the walls. These are the old walls that have been here for ages. And imagine this is where you're going to be spending. You're going to be spending some time here. I mean, for myself, this is one of the places I was going to be spending some time because I wanted to be away from all the people, because there's some craziness that's going to be happening upstairs. With there's a lot of other things, activities and stuff. So I like to hang out on my own. With that being said, let's go outside and take a look at what we've got out here. And this is kind of what I was saying earlier. Is it's interesting. So we've got some furniture here. And this is where you start wondering, like, what is Carnival doing? So you've got some stuff that's, I don't feel like they've been taking care of the ship. And honestly, the representation, this is what's on my windows across the board. So I kind of wonder what has been going on here. I mean, it does have a pretty good, this is a balcony room facing out towards the back end of the ship. But I still feel like they haven't done maintenance and kept it up and saying, hey, you really do need to come cruise with us at this point. Now, one thing I will tell you, has a beautiful view, which is where we're located at near in Miami, and it does have that part in terms of that. But honestly, this room doesn't do justice for Carnival. It just doesn't. I mean, I love the location of the room, but I mean, it doesn't. And also, if you look at the door, this is what you're getting. Um, I mean, I'm just kind of surprised, on what you're actually getting in this room. Um, Boy, it's hot out there. Close this back up here. So, yeah. So, I wanted to share that with you. Um, you know, Before you book your next cruise, let us help you get some ideas. I think that will be helpful. Anyway, I'll be back in a second to share the last details here in just a second. All right. So I've shown you around the room, and obviously, not really great that first impressions. But the other part that I'm having some challenges with is, to be honest with you, is going to be the part about the food, and I think that part's going to be really important because, with that being said, what you get is what you see, right? And food hasn't gone great either. I don't know what has happened with Carnival at this point, but honestly, at this point, I feel like it's gone a different direction, and Carnival needs to step it up. For the amount of money that you pay, for sure, the amount of amenities that you get, it's almost like they've given you, well, here's your bare room. What else do you want from us? Kind of idea, and that's not cool. I think at this point, um, the corporate definitely needs to know. But that's my first impressions of Carnival here in this year. To be honest with you, they need to step up their game because actually we're going to be going on Royal Caribbean here. And it'll be interesting to see the differences here in the next few weeks as to what's going to happen with that one. But I'll tell you that it's got to be hopefully better than this. One last thing, a couple ideas on your next cruise, and I'm sorry to be sort of negative in this video, but I did want to share some interesting ideas about traveling on a cruise. I think cruising is great. I think you have a lot of options that you can do. You've got your food included, a lot of the fun activities, excursions, and that sort of thing. But here's some tips when you cruise. Number one, I think the biggest thing is look at where your room is before you book. It's going to be really important. If you like more away from all the crowd and everything, the back of the ship where I'm located at is a whole lot quieter. Why is that? Because there's not as much traffic going back and forth because everybody else is walking through the hallways. That's tip number one. Tip number two is, by the way, they do not have irons. So I suggest not to bring an iron, but to bring a can of this. And no, I am not getting promoted for this. But Bounds Touch Up, amazing product. It will take care of your ironing for you, and it's very helpful. The other thing I wanted to mention is underneath this bed here, you have about this much room to store your luggage. If you noticed, there's no luggage in this room that you can see. That's because it's all stored underneath. That gives you plenty of room to happen to store all your stuff. And I think that's very, really, really helpful because you want to be able to have that. Um, Tip number three is be aware sodas, which they used to have, which I don't understand, used to be out in the fountains here on Carnival. You can walk up and just get, whatever soda, Coke, whatever you want, is no longer. So they're making you pay for that, which doesn't even make sense, to be honest with you. But okay, whatever. I mean, I guess maybe it was costing them money. It doesn't make sense. Um, so a couple of things about that part, and I suggest to bring, if you can bring some water with you. There are some limitations on drinks and other things like that that you can bring with you, um, in terms of that part. One other thing, in terms of getting on the ship, let me tell you about the process real quick. You can absolutely check in online, get your slot to be able to get on early. I always recommend the 10:30 slot, at least for Carnival, and 10:30 to 11, and you'll be on the ship before you know it, and enjoying yourself. And by the way, the other thing just to keep in mind, not every single time your room will be ready. So you need to be aware that if you're bringing luggage with you, just be ready for that part. Other level members have access to the room and that sort of thing. So that's important. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and one last thing when you get into your room, you're going to get a couple things when you get into your room. Number one, this is the fun time. So you'll get this. Definitely read through it because there's a lot of great stuff that's going to be happening. Gives you exactly what's going on and all that stuff. Carnival has actually switched to a QR directory, which is kind of nice about safety info and your benefits and food allergies and that sort of thing. And pretty much other information that you may need to know. A lot of times you have a lot of first-time cruises, obviously, like yourselves or many other people that haven't cruised before. So these are good things to know about before you get in. Secondly, your key to your door. That will not be available to you, which is not that one, will not be available to you till later, and it'll be basically, I had to find mine, won't be available to you until later, and typically it's around 1:30, and it's on, you need to be able to, then you'll be able to get into your room. Better find that card soon, I guess. With that being said, I think that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this tour of the Carnival Conquest and what you can expect, at least for this type of room category. I don't know. You have to make up your own mind whether this is going to be the Carnival cruise ship that you want to be on, or another Carnival cruise ship, which there are some new others on there. But keep in mind what you're getting. Are you really getting the fun and the environment that you want to be in and the cabin that you want to? And I'm not sure if this Carnival Conquest is now representing the rest of the Carnival Cruise Line. I know they do have new ships coming out, but you just have to keep that in mind, what you're actually getting compared to other products that are out there on other cruise lines. Anyway, well, thanks for watching the show, and I hope to see you back soon, and enjoy your cruising. Bye-bye for now.